how do I respond to my husband when he demands submission?
What?
Yeah.
What does that
so
mean?
I guess a little background, I guess. We've been married for almost 3 years. And since we've gotten married, he's often used the Bible verses about wives submit to your husbands and everything to end our arguments. My faith is really important to me, so it feels like a trump card has been played when he does this, and I just shut down.
Yeah, it's like taking a Bible and hitting you in the mouth with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then blaming you for bleeding on the pages.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
All right, give me an example.
So recently, I guess I brought up my need for a bit more contribution around the house, and this devolved into an hours-long argument where he ended up reading these verses to me off of his phone.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know what else to do.
So you said, hey, and by the way, let's take away the word need. I think that's a way we can drown each other. You said, hey, I want some help.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, like, do you have kids? I mean, what kind of help do you need? Or do you want?
No kids.
Okay.
No kids, but that is another reason why I'm calling. That's definitely a hot topic at the moment. But I kind of feel like I do a bit more than my fair share, I guess. Well, he's playing video games. And so I say, hey, can you vacuum or can you take out the trash? And the argument will devolve into, well, you can quit your job and then you won't have anything to complain about anymore. And then as arguments continue.
Is this for real? This is a real dude?
Yes.
He pauses his video game to look over his shoulder at you and then grabs his phone and reads Bible verses about how you should submit to him?
Yeah, and sometimes the video game isn't even paused. I wish I were joking.
I literally am out of words. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, this isn't about me. How can I help?
Well,
I mean, this is an insane situation.
Yeah, I guess I won't, speak about him necessarily, but I feel very dismissed. I'm feeling unvalued.
Wait, why? Just because he plays video games and hits you in the face with the Bible? And he doesn't help, and you wash his underwear, and you work full time, and you like what? Why in the world would you feel dismissed?
It's kind of it feels like a gender game is being played a lot of the time, and I see there's certainly merit in that. We are meant to complement each other.
Hold on, no, don't do that. Please don't do that.
Okay.
This is not a gender game. This is not a scripture game. Because the other part of that talks about die for your wife. Put down the video game controller and help her while she melts in front of you. That is not a verse about you get a lifetime maid and sexual slave. That does not mean you win every argument about where you're going to go eat and what you're going to do with the kids and what your wife's hair is going to look like. At all. That's such a disgusting, gross misrepresentation of what that talks about. It's abusive the way that's used. And here's why it's abusive, because you're bound inside of a faith context, right? Mm-hmm. And you're not leaving that faith context. And so inside those walls, he's taking this Bible and he's beating you over the head with it and saying, you do what I say. While he's sitting there eating Cheetos, playing video games. Jeez, dude. It's like a this is one of those dudes that, like, when I'm talking to people out in the public sphere and we're having a good-natured debate or a not good-natured debate, this is the guy they bring up, and I say, that's not real. Nobody's like that. And you're like, no, I married him.
He's, there's obviously really wonderful qualities about him. He works extremely hard. He's very successful. But, that's great on paper. until it comes time to talk about emotions, and that can be really difficult.
We're not even talking about emotions. We're talking about, hey, can we do life together? No, submit.
Yeah. And then add in the whole pressure to have kids very soon. And
I'm sure
I feel a bit stuck.
Ripped off some Bible verses out of context to make you feel bad about that one too. Yeah, like,
yep.
I don't know, but I don't know how you're going to feel stuck. I mean, you get to choose what happens next.
Mm.
And I mean, here's the thing that's kind of freaking me out or grossing me out. I think I've been super fortunate, and I've also curated it. No question about that. But I've been fortunate with the men I just roomed with in college, and the people I've grown up around, and the people that I run with. And so I live in kind of a bubble of pretty, not perfect men, kind of some dorks, kind of some buttholes, me too, but like with good men. And that's on me that I need to get my head out of the sand and realize there's a lot more of this kind of nonsense going on out there.
It's a blessing, though.
What is? Having good men around you? Yeah, it's awesome. Of course it is. It's amazing. But it paints, because here's the thing. I hear these stories and my first gut instinct is that can't be real. And every woman's lived experience, not everyone, but so many women's lived experiences it tells me I'm dead wrong. And I guess I'll just say on behalf of men everywhere, I'm so sorry. On behalf of guys who identify as Christian, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you.
It doesn't help you at all. Not even a little bit.
And I don't want to put a bad label on it, of course, especially because that's a faith I subscribe to as well. I guess I'm looking for hope, I suppose, or
where does this come from for him? Like, where does this how does this distill down into like an operation? He's got to learn this from something.
Yeah, my thought is he had a very sort of traditional upbringing.
I did too.
Yeah.
But my dad said, serve your wife. You know what I mean?
Maybe it wasn't so traditional. Yeah, I don't know. It's an upbringing that certainly insisted upon mom and wife stay home and do what you're told while husband goes and makes the money. And that's sort of where that ends with his responsibility. So I think a lot of that has trickled down. It wasn't this way when we were dating.
I was going to say, why'd you marry into this?
Yeah, I suppose I thought he was different from his parents. You know, we'd had that conversation of what we want our marriage to look like. And I thought he didn't want one like his parents, and I didn't want one like my parents, and we could forge our own path. But we fall into old habits, I suppose.
Yeah. Are you safe?
Physically safe, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because the next step is you being very, very clear with yourself and probably with a counselor, a couple of girlfriends, on what will be true in your home for your body autonomy. Because I also know this happens in the bedroom. And I know this happens in any other sphere that you don't feel comfortable talking about publicly, but I know. And because this is a radically abusive, distorted view of all sorts of good things used to wield power. And it just makes me sick to my stomach, dude. But you need to be very clear about, here's how this is going to go. And then he gets a choice to opt in or opt out. And I guess what I'm telling you is, if you're telling me this is what he knows, like, does he have guy friends? What does he listen to? Like, where does this continue on?
I think a lot of the media he consumes very much encourages his worldview. So,
what does he consume?
Certain certain podcasts that I'm learning the word manosphere.
Oh God, is he an Andrew Tate guy?
I don't think that's the specific person he listens to, but certainly guys like him. I think it's got a big influence on how the culture in our home at the moment.
So if he was bringing pornography into the house and letting that be instructive as to how you were going to react, how are you going to respond to him sexually? Would you put up with that?
No.
Okay. I want you to view this kind of poison and garbage the exact same way.
I hadn't thought of it like that.
And I guess if nothing else on this phone call, I want you to feel permission, as long as you're safe. If you're not safe, please go somewhere where you're safe physically, okay?
Yeah.
To reclaim your autonomy. I'm sorry. Did you grow up with some of this nonsense too?
No, maybe that's why I've allowed some of it to really sit with me and confuse me.
It's a very, very common thing when I used to sit down with assault victims was it was almost as I would ask questions as part of an investigation, what happened. It was a digesting. It was like a slow metabolizing of, oh my gosh, I am now in this category. Like I am now a person that this is happening to. And our bodies are so amazing at helping us get distance from wild types of pain, both emotional and psychological and physical. It helps us like make space. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's hard when the space begins to shrink and you realize, oh, this is my life.
Yeah. It's just sort of a how did it come to this? How did everything change so quickly?
I know, and you sound like somebody who's looked to the mirror and tried to figure out what you did wrong here. And they just got to hear me say, dude, this is madness. It's madness.
It helps to hear somebody else say it. It makes you feel a little less alone. So thank you.
I mean, listen to the other like bro guys out there. Do you know the word, like behind closed doors, the word on the street with Rogan is that he's one of the greatest husbands ever? You ever heard some of those goofballs talk about their, like, I'm just thinking of like the guys with huge podcasts who are all like, like real raunchy dudes. They're so insane about how much they love their wives and how they dedicate their lives to try, like they tell jokes about them and they're inappropriate, blah, blah. But it's this cannot do anything other than I want to provide the most insane life for my wife.
Wow.
You ever heard Dave Ramsey talk about his wife? It's amazing.
That's how I found you.
People talk about me and my wife. I mean, it's just, it's such a great, I like you're blowing my mind right now. And you shouldn't. That this kind of nonsense is still out there. And I thought this crap, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. And
no, I hate it for you.
I was scared to call, but I think if anybody else is out there, maybe they can hear something like this and feel a little less alone too.
What's your next move?
Well, probably get on my knees and pray.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest. And call a girlfriend.
Okay, and then what?
And just be honest. I don't know. After that, I don't know.
Okay, I need you to hear me say you have a very hard road ahead of you. And this is a choose your hard moment. It's going to be very, very hard to continue living the life where you are somebody else's servant who has no care in the world about your feelings, your emotions, your dreams, your wants, your partnership.
Yeah.
You are a maid, you're a sexual servant, and you are a child dispenser. That's going to be a very hard life. And it will be very hard to untangle yourself from this madness too.
Yeah.
So knowing there's only hard paths ahead of me.
You're right.
Ahead of you. It's not a matter of there's an easy route out of this thing. It's just two hard paths. And so whenever somebody's faced with a choose your hard moment, my recommendation is to pick the hard path that will get you to the place that you want to be in 5 years, in 3 years.
That's good advice. Thank you.
Just hear me say, there's good guys out there. There's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of them. I promise you. I know them.
I believe you. And I know I'm going to be okay. I think just, feeling a little bit like I've got somebody to walk with me has been helpful, even just for a few minutes. So I really appreciate it.
Can I ask one more quick question and I'll let you go?
Of course.
And this is only, I'll edit this part out if you want me to. This is only because I've sat with too many people who've been on the other side of this thing before. For 20 years, I've done this.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear your voice starting to inch backwards a little bit. Like there's a fear that I've said too much and I'm not safe anymore. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Just a little shaken, I think.
Okay.
Thank you.
What you did's a brave thing. When you hang up with me, will you call somebody that you trust and say, I need to come over and talk to you right now?
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
You promise?
Sorry. Yes, promise.
You're okay.
Sorry.
Hey, don't ever apologize to me. I'm just a clown on the radio, dude, on the podcast. But
you're a very helpful clown.
I want you to listen to that lump in your throat, okay? It sounds like you're hanging on with duct tape right now. Are you sure you're okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Thank you.
I'm going to trust you. Will you call me anytime? All right. Bye, love.
All right, thanks. Love you. Bye-bye.